Hey everyone, welcome back to Curious IT. In today's video, we are going to be adding multiple users to Active Directory utilizing PowerShell, and we're going to pull all this information from an Excel file. So let's jump over and talk about this real quick. We pulled up this NetRix blog. It says how to create Active Directory users with PowerShell. And if you guys follow through with this, you can copy and paste everything that we need to our PowerShell file and of course to our Excel file. So I'll put this in the description below so you guys can utilize this and do exactly what we're doing here. Now the next thing that I want to point out here is Mockaroo. I'm going to put this link in the description as well. You can utilize this to create an Excel sheet with multiple users on there. So I have already created an Excel sheet with 250 users that we are going to import into our Active Directory. So with our Mockaroo, we want to make sure that our CSV file matches what we're doing with our the NetRix blog that we pulled up. So we want to make sure that we have first name, last name, username, department, password, and OU filled out in these fields here. So we can actually just say remove all of these. I'm going to add another field, and we want first name. I'm going to choose a type, and I'm going to look for first name. First name. There's first name right there, and we can add another field. Oops, first name. We don't want first name 4. We want field name, last name, and we can click back over here, type in last. There's our last name. Add another field. What do we need here? If we go back to our blog post here, we want username. So we put in username, and here we're going to search for username. Now you kind of get the idea. We keep adding these fields. We got department, and we can click in here and do department, corporate, that works fine. Add another field. What do we need here? We need password, fill the box here. We can have it autofill the password, or we can have it blank. We'll just manually fill that out in our Excel sheet. We'll show you how to do that. It's really easy to do. Go back here. Well, now we need our OU. And we're going to leave that blank too, because we are going to add a custom field for that as well. So we can do 250, and we do download data, and we'll have our Excel sheet. So let's pull that up real quick. All right, so here's our Excel sheet that we downloaded, and now I'm going to fill out a password, and I'm going to fill out our OU structure. So CN would be users. Now let's go and show you users on our Active Directory. This is going to be added to this folder right here under users. So as we saw on Active Directory, we have our users OU. Our domain is itcq.local. And if we go back to our spreadsheet, we have CN users, which that is our users OU or folder right here under itcq.local. And then we have our DC as itcq. If we go back to Active Directory, this is our DC, itcq.local. So what they're looking for here is the name of your domain. So this is going to vary based on your environment. So we have our domain is itcq.local. Yours might be yourbusiness.com. So you would have for DC, the first DC here, your business, and the next DC would be just com, C-O-M, because that is your domain. So now we have our password for our user accounts. We have the proper OU for our user accounts. Now what we're going to do is select both of these cells right here, and we're going to do control. And what we're going to do is control, and we're going to drag down all the way to the bottom. There it is. Nope, go right there. So now it auto-filled out our password and our OU for all of our accounts. Now there's probably maybe a better way to do this, but this is how we're doing it for this video. So we're going to go ahead and save this file, and now we're going to use PowerShell to import all of this information. So we saw from our Mockaroo, we were able to auto-populate our first name, last name, username, and department. Now, you guys can see here we have different departments that we don't have set up yet in our Active Directory. We can add these later because these are all just going to be dumped over to our users folder. So let's save this file and open up PowerShell. So as you guys can see on our server, we have our Excel file and we have this PowerShell script that we got from the Netrix blog that we talked about. So make sure you guys go get those scripts from the Netrix blog, and we're just going to pull it up and we're going to look at it because we do have to make some modifications here. So the first thing we need to do under AV users, it's import CSV. We need to make sure that we have the correct Excel file name. So as we launch this user script, this add user script, it's going to pull the 250 users.csv file from our desktop. And now if we have different locations for this, we can put those here as well. So let's say on our desktop, we had a different folder. We called this one Pshell. Copy our Excel file to our PowerShell folder. As you guys can see here, now we have a copy of it here. So if we wanted to modify this to go to the Pshell folder, we just type Pshell dash, and now we have that set up for those users there. So anywhere you have your file set up at, you want to make sure that this points to the specific files that we need. So as we go through here, you can see this is all the information within that PowerShell script. The only other thing that we have to modify here is user principal name, and this is going to be your domain. So we just put in itcq.local. Once we make those changes in the script, we can just save it and we'll close out of it. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and pull up PowerShell. Now this might be completely new to you, so if you just follow along, it should be really easy to do. We'll talk about PowerShell, of course, in more videos, but it's a very, very powerful tool. So what we're going to do here is see where we are located right now. And we can see here that it says PSC Users Administrator. So we know that this is where PowerShell is essentially going to be loading files from. If we do ls, we can see that we have multiple folders under C Users Administrator. And we can show you this in a GUI form. So if we go to this PC, C, Users, Administrator, we can see here the same folder structure that we have listed here in PowerShell. 3D objects, contacts, desktop, etc., etc. Here's the same thing. So this is just essentially showing us where we are located within PowerShell. So what we can do here is do CD and do desktop, because we want to get to our desktop where all of our files are. So you can, I'll go back and do this one more time. We can do CD space, and we can start typing out desktop, or we could start and then hit tab and it'll auto finish. So we can do CD desktop. Now we've changed directories to our desktop, and we do ls, it's going to show us all the files and folders under our desktop. And we can go back to the GUI so you guys can see this. Again, here's our folders. This is just a shortcut that won't show up, but here's our folder, here's our files. And if we minimize that and go back to PowerShell, you can see it's the same thing. So if we want to run a PowerShell script, we know that our PowerShell script is this add-users.ps1. So I could just actually start typing out add and do tab. It'll autocomplete the add-users.ps1. All we have to do from here is hit enter. Now this is going to go through our script that we got from Netrix, like we talked about, this script right here. Edit it, we'll just show you guys one more time, just so we're all on the same page here. It is running this script right here. It's running everything here. Now I can already see we got had some errors here, but this is nothing to worry about. This is just showing us that we already have a user in Active Directory with that same name, so it's not going to do anything with that information. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to kind of skip past this, because what we want to do now is go back to our Active Directory. So if we go under users, we can see all of these accounts that were created from our script. So we could actually go and look at our Active Directory, look at our Excel sheet. We should have all of the names here, all of our accounts created within our environment here. So now that we have all of our users imported into Active Directory users, we could start taking these users and moving them to the proper OUs. So let's say this person, and this person are all part of sales. We can just highlight them and move them over to sales. Now they're going to be under our sales department. So we could do the same thing with the rest of our users. Now keep in mind, we could modify our PowerShell script and our Excel sheet to automatically import our users to the proper OUs. Now that's going to take a lot more work. That's future videos way down the line here. But this is just a really simple, basic way to import a lot of users into Active Directory. And again, we can move all these wherever they need to go. And as we start structuring our group policy more, start structuring our security groups more, we're going to need these users so that we can show you how different things work. But this is just a real simple, basic, here's how you import a lot of users into Active Directory. The next video we're going to talk about, and we've done this already in a video, is adding computers to our domain. I have, and I think we can show you here, I have in our virtual box a couple different Windows 10 boxes that we will be adding to our Active Directory. So we're going to talk about that in new videos, but I hope this video kind of makes sense to you guys. Make sure you guys follow the blog so you can follow along a little bit easier. But this is just structuring our Active Directory, getting users added so that we can really kind of dive deeper into this and really teach you guys about, adding accounts, resetting passwords, structuring our security groups, and setting up group policies. So hope this video helps you guys out. Stay tuned for future videos. We'll really get into the nitty-gritty of things.